Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, four crazy rescue dogs, a rescue cat, two rescue guinea pigs, who likes to craft in her spare time, has gone back to school to be an ASL interpreter, and is trying to train for Ironman. If you're new here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message. It boosts my serotonin and my self-esteem, and I could really use that. And if you're returning, you already know the crazy you're in for, so grab a drink, sit on back, and let's have at it. So this last week was crazy. It was a lot of running. Um, Bean and I spent yesterday and all of today interpreting and at a workshop about sexuality and gender identification and trauma informed interpreting. So, and then we went to the Vegan Fest down at the Eastern Market down in Detroit with our mentor and interpret it. And that was the first time I watched my daughter actually so yesterday she had to sign a little bit and this morning she had to sign a little bit. But Nick was like, "Yeah, you absolutely can follow with us and join." But then he actually asked her questions and had her voice for him, and it was really cool to see my daughter doing that. It has been a really long week. I am gearing up for another really busy week. Bean has jury duty tomorrow, and they actually tested her and said, "Yes, you need to be at the courthouse tomorrow morning," which totally throws off my plan for the day as far as driving everybody where they needed to go and the nature of things. Um, I have my follow up with the pain management doctor. What we have figured out is that standing for more than about 30 to 45 minutes, I am in complete pain. Can't do it. I have to sit down. I can hardly move. I need pain meds. So that's not like great, given my professions. Um, the other thing is, I got my date to go to Lansing for my TEP. That is the English Proficiency exam. All interpreters in the state of Michigan to be certified have to start by taking that. That is the first step. So if I take that, then they will give me the date or the dates where I can pick to sit for my BEI level 1. Y'all, it's happening. It is terrifying. Um, Tomorrow night I'm interpreting in our principal's class with one of my favorite teachers. We're actually, I say that, we have some amazing teachers in our program who just, and amazing mentors who just really want us all to succeed. And that is fantastic. And so, like, I work a lot with Nick and I love Nick. Nick is, like I have said before, Nick is like an ADHD child, unmedicated, hyped up on pixie sticks and coke. He is all over there. He is just, but he has offered to even meet with me one on one to practice for the BEI, and to make sure that my skills are top notch. And he asked me today um, if next summer that we can go to court again. That was his favorite thing. And I said, yes, absolutely. Um, so that's really cool. Hold, please. Sorry about that. Okay. So, my one professor who I hardly ever get to see, her name is Randa. Um, she's not even, she can't even be 5 foot. And she walks around in these 4-inch stilettos all the time. And she's like about this big. And she is just a firecracker. She's an absolute firecracker. Her and I are going to be working tomorrow. And I'm so excited. We're supposed to be interpreting the principal's class, but I'm the only student. So maybe I will ask her if we can work on my project that's due Wednesday. It's not like I put it up. I haven't. So yeah. I have no haul this week, and that's okay. At the farmer's market today, we were at the end of the day, and one farmer didn't want to pack up everything to take it home. So I bought 16 pounds of strawberries. 16 and 5 honeydews. And as we're walking out, I'm like, we look like we're one of those storybook math problems. So yeah. So Bean has jury duty tomorrow. That'll be interesting. And then she has class. I have pain management doctor. Oh, so I take the TEP on the 27th. I'm nervous. I know everybody says I, of all people, shouldn't be, but I am. I know that I have test anxiety. I also have some learning disability, so one of them happens to be reading comprehension and spelling. So, it should be interesting. Should be interesting. I'm trying to think what else has gone on. After today, I literally need, I logged my hours, so not including tomorrow night. I added up my hours. Where am I? And understand that I get to count my hours on my Friday class as well. And then they let us count our hours for homework. So if I don't include any of those, as of right now, I need 1 hour and 14 minutes worth of interpreting. So after tomorrow, I'm done. No. That just means I've met the minimum. We all know me. I'm going to exceed that, and that's fine. And I'm excited. I have a bunch of CLEs for law to do this week or over the next couple weeks. I've talked about this many a times. I don't handle CSC offenses. My CLEs that I'm taking are all about juvenile CSC offenders. If you know, you know. That is some heavy lifting to do. So, yes, I'm munching on some fruit with you guys. It's left over from this weekend. I will tell you that this seminar had the best food I have had at a seminar in eons, even pre-COVID. Um, we had Middle Eastern food yesterday from lunch, and the beef that they used for the beef shawarma was so freaking tender. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Um, 12 out of 10. It was fantastic. And I brought home leftovers. And yeah, they're gone. They didn't even make it to today. That's, yeah, 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10. So, okay, whatever. You're not here for all of that. Maybe you are. I don't know. Um, this next week, like I said, I have a couple mediation summaries to write. I have a couple other things to take care of. Um, that was a big piece, but it tastes good. Okay, so I have a lot of stitching. This new way of stitching, where I have like set things, I'm making lots of progress on things, but I'm also like on some things, like for a while there I was like doing huge chunks on Rosie, and now I'm not seeing, I'm not having such huge chunks because there's some days where it's like maybe it's a theme day and I only have time to stitch on one project in a day, so I don't necessarily, I haven't touched a few things, but I feel like I'm touching more things. So with that said, let's start off with, today is Sunday, and on Sunday we stitch stockings now, because the Sing a Song sampler for me is done. I don't know why I'm saving this in the bag. Yes, I do. I'm really not stupid. Because the fabric that they give you with the outline of the stocking on it, I have never stitched a stocking in my life. It's here. And I keep that in the bag. And I don't have, it doesn't have a project bag that I can just shove that in. So it is what it is. I don't even have my Ooh La La Ziploc project bags. I know. Chateau Majeur Ziploc bags. Oh. This is a Busilla kit. I don't know if it's retired. I got it off the eBay from the e-boy. And the e-boy delivered it to my house after the boy child picked it. I wonder why. So my stocking, when it's done, will not say Vanessa. I don't know who Vanessa is. Yes, I do. I have a friend whose one twin is named Vanessa. We worked on it a little bit after I got home today, and that is where we're at. I know. Right there. We're making progress. My lovely fossils. I think what would save me some time is on here if I wrote the symbol as well. Maybe. I don't know. But on Sunday we stitched stockings and I did. We're making progress. Good. On Fridays, it's Festive Friday. And I am working on this Heart in Hand Halloween parade. That was a pay it forward from Michelle, and when I'm done with it, it will get paid forward. But now, darn you, Denise. I may need to break down and get a Halloween tree. Because they would each make individual ornaments That would be adorable. Hmm. Thank you, Denise. Okay, I'm stitching this on a purple linen that I don't know where it came from. We have still the mystery still exists. Okay, but there's my little bat. I still need to do the whites of his eyeballs and then his little teethers. But I have decided that his eyeballs and then his little fangs, that will probably be my freaking thumbnail. I'm gonna stitch them in E940 so they will glow in the dark. And then we'll move on to the pirate. To the pirate. And I was scared that this linen would take me forever to stitch on. But that only took me 2 Fridays to get him done. I'm gonna count him as basically done. Because if I wasn't so lazy and didn't want to get up and get to eat to go in the dark floss, he would be done. But I was too lazy. So again, on Friday, we do Festive Friday. And for me right now, that's Halloween stuff. Okay. On Saturday, we do Sorority Saturday. Are you seeing the theme? I'm big into alliterations, apparently. This is on One More Reproduction by Be Stitch Me. I really like their fabric. This is a Jobelin, and I will say that this is my first piece of Jobelin, and I kind of like it. It's very thick, though. It's a 32 count. I am stitching 2/2. This is my sorority's armorial bearings, which basically is a fancy word for it's our crest. I stitch on a sorority piece because Corey creates makes me. She doesn't. She doesn't. She inspires me to stitch on something for my sorority, and I have a couple pieces planned. This is the first one. And if my math is mathin', I will have enough to stitch a lavender and lace Celtic lady without the border because I don't necessarily want the border. Although I may on this one do one, and then rather than it say like spring or winter or whatever, it will say like Alpha Gamma Delta. Probably just the Greek letters. We'll see. We'll see. That's a long ways off. But there should be enough so that the fabrics match, which would be fantastic. But we went to town on this, and I didn't stitch on it till last night. And I don't know, I just kept going. I love it. I love it. And like I said, I should have enough. It doesn't go much wider than this, so I'm thinking that that piece should be enough to do my Celtic lady.
It was about to dry the whole time.
We found the flosses to the French horn. Somehow it ended up on the shelf above the dryer. This is exciting. But that also proves that I didn't have it.
I didn't have it either.
But then technically neither did the boy child.
So neither one of it had.
So we were both kind of in the right.
Both of us were wrong. And both of us were right at the same time.
So, again, Saturdays are for sorority stitching. And I wish more people would join us, because I know that there are more cross stitchers who are sorority sisters of different sororities. And maybe it's fraternity Saturday. I don't know. Greek Saturday? That just doesn't sound right. But I'm an Alpha Gamma Delta alumni, and it will be really cool to have our armorial bearings. And then, like I said, I'm going to do a conversion on one of the Celtic ladies, so that my girl is hanging up on the wall. Okay, in keeping with the themes and the alliterations, we have Wiener Wednesday. Wiener Wednesday is just fun to say, if nothing else. Um, I'm starting off my Wiener Wednesday by stitching turkey sausage by Plum Street Samplers. I love this series. I mean, who doesn't like a good wiener pattern? And yes, secretly inside me is like a 12-year-old boy. So we stitch Wiener Wednesday. I am stitching this on just a generic tan Ada that I believe I got from Dana. Hi, Dana. Last week I had the little pumpkin in the middle of the two wiener dogs. And this week we have part of a wiener. I like my wiener. She's a cute wiener. So that's my Wednesday project. Wednesdays are a little tough just because that's my class day. And so we don't always... Oreo's got a pop bottle. Okay. So my fun that's not on any theme yet day. It's not on my WIPGO board because it was a new start. Is my Santa Mermaid. That's not his name. It's like Brutal Tattoo or something. Which, yes, I need to email over. I forgot the winner. But can we just all love him? Like, and now, like I love his tattooing. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely like, but I kind of just like him beefcakey. It's kind of a beefcake. So maybe I won't tat him up. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. What I think I will do is maybe what I'll do is get all of the stitching done and all of the other back stitching and go from there. Because I know that one of the girls who stitched him in our group, in one of the groups, one of the many groups I belong to, didn't put all of the tattooing on him. And he still looked fantastic. Yeah. Isn't he glorious? I still absolutely love stitching on him. He makes my heart happy. He's just so good. So good. Okay. So, we are playing WIPGO. Maybe we are? We are. You know, if only I was organized. That's not it. I have one that's on my computer too that I highlight on my computer. But for some reason, it's kind of fulfilling to have that in paper and be able to like scratch it off. This is my WIPGO board. Can we just admire? Look, I have a WIPGO. I have a second WIPGO. I do mine goals based on, or days based on the year. So sometimes I can work ahead in a block, i.e. right here. Sometimes I get a little behind, as we all know. Currently, I am all caught up and almost done with this month's goals. I know. So good. Okay, so one of the calls is my Modern Folk Embroidery Fruits of Plenty sale. This is from 2021. I started it like everybody else. I can't even tell you why I put it down. And then I got behind, and then I was like, psh, well, now it is my goal to get it done because yo, I love this piece. And you know what's funny is when I posted on my Instagram, it is one of those pieces where I get tons of, oh my God, your colors. And I don't think my colors are that spectacular. I literally pulled black and gray. And then I was like, we need little pops. And I just added like random little pops of color into the flowers or the fruits or whatever. It's nothing like some of y'all's colors are chef's kiss. They're amazing. I don't think mine are, but it looks good. So, Whipco calls for 10 stitching sessions. I've done 4 so far this time. And then it will get called one more time before the end of the year. We're closing in on 40%. Now, that said, when I started Whipco this year, with this on here, has it been called one more? I think it's been called once other time. Once before. Yes. It got called in May. And it got 10 stitching times. When I got called in May, I was like, none of, like, hardly any of this was it. I think maybe some of, like, this portion was in, and a little bit here. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. But I know that last year I had finished through part number 3, and I had just barely started on part number 4. So in those 10 days, so now we've got 14 days this year into it, and we're almost at 40%. So I am hopeful that in the 16 more times that I'm supposed to stitch on it, that I'll make it to 50%. I know. But look at that. I love this piece. Now, my friend's mom has already asked. She's like, look, if you're going to give that to somebody, can I have it? And I kind of want to say yes to her, and I kind of don't. And I will be honest that in my house right now I would have more if I'd actually FFO something, but we all know I don't really FFO anything. I can't help that. Um, I only have one piece of my own stitching in my house. One piece. And that's 3 small words. And there was no way I was giving that away. So I kind of want to have like a lot more stitching in my house, especially when we move to the new house, which I have not bought a new house yet. So everybody relax. Not yet. Soon, hopefully, God willing. I want to have my stitching and my sewing and my quilting around my house. But right now, I don't. So it's like, do I hold on to it? Okay, because let's be honest, I'm not going to stitch it a second time. There are very few pieces that I would ever stitch a second time. And as much as I love this, and Jacob did a fantastic job, that's not one of them. One of the pieces that I intend to stitch a second time is 99 beers, 99 bottles by Ink Circles. I absolutely love that piece. I love stitching it. And the other one is the Happy Halloween that I stitched for a friend from Primrose Cottage Stitching. And I've stitched the pear and banana fob multiple times. But other than that, I can't think of anything offhand that I'm going to that I would stitch. And Lady of the Flag, I plan on doing multiple times. And then the Celtic ladies, I'm going to do spring, summer, fall, autumn, and I'm going to do Christmas. I may go back and do winter as well. And then I'm going to stitch one of them as in my sorority colors. But other than that, like, I'm not one that's going to stitch something multiple times. I'm typically a one and done, which sounds horrible to say. So, okay. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Okay. This is a gift for a friend. This is also on my Whip Go goal. It's due for 2 more times this month. And then it's on here and can get called 1 more time. So it's actually due before the end of the year, 12 more stitching times. Y'all, we're over 2%. In 12 days, 12 stitching times, we might actually make it to a whole whopping 3%. Why? Because every percent is like over 3,000 stitches. I think I figured out. It's like 3,500 stitches equals 1%. Why do you all let me start such big ass projects? Why? And yet, I will let you lead me down that pathway. And I will start a new project now, if you ask me to. It doesn't make sense. So this is Buffet mat. It's from Unconventional Cross Stitch. It is going to my friend John. What I am blown away is that even at 2%, just over 2%, look at the detail. Like, it's crazy. Look at that frame. It's crazy to see. Absolutely crazy. So again, this month at least twice. Anything over the twice will go into the next pick. Okay. Ms. Rosie. Miss Rosie is fantastic. I was stitching on it the other night, Tuesday night, when my son was in class, and a gentleman stopped by and I showed him Rosie. He was like, "What are you making?" And I was showing him, and I showed him the mock-up. He offered me $200. No, Rosie is worth far more than $200. Although John said you should just go ahead and sell it. You can stitch it again. Y'all, I am not stitching this again. I love this piece, but no. Are you crazy? No. No. But y'all, we're over 40% done. I love this piece. It is actually not on my Whipco. I've gotten every time it's called on my board has been called. Will I keep working on it? Well, quite obviously, yes. 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 Okay. I caught up on my August Whipco pull. And that is of the periodic table. I don't know how it got folded like this. Okay. Welcome to my world with this. Oh, look, it's the fabric that just keeps going. Am I mad at myself? No. Is it a little unruly to... Yes. Okay. So we just got in more of the black grid. if you would like to see this picture, a picture of this all stretched out and held out, check out my Instagram. I'm His Princess Kelly on Instagram. And I posted one the other day because after it's got 10 more days this year that I can get 10 more stitching times that I can get called this year. Um are we getting closer to the grid then? Yes. Do we still have a long ass way to go? Yes. Yes, we do. Yeah. Okay. So yesterday I took some stitching with me because I figured if nothing else on break, my brain would need time to sort of decompress. And this one was calling to me, and I think part of that is Julie's fault. Because she is stitching on her, she was stitching on hers on Thursday night. I was like, oh, I should pull mine out. And part of it is because, um, if nothing else, I don't have to count when I work on the blue part. Oh, please let me get my dog to stop barking. Okay. And what is that, you ask? I'm so glad you asked. This was not on my Whipco board at all this year. I don't know why. It just didn't make it on the list, but it's Pandemic by Long Dog Sampler. And so, because I am me, I have made Pandemic a full coverage because why not? Why not? So I did get in some of the blue. And then I came over here. Hold, please. Okay. So I came over here. I did some blue, not a bunch of blue. I did some blue. And then I came over and did this here. What's funny is, if you just looked at the tan on its own, it's kind of like, meh, meh. I can't tell you what the blue would look like on its own, but it's pretty. But the two of them together, oh my god, I love it. I love it so much. Yes. I know that I have to go in and add like the little back stitching that's in here, but I'll wait till the end to do that. This is one of those projects. Here's a bow. Okay. When I first saw this, when they were passing it out during the pandemic, I was like, it's not really my thing. But then everybody started stitching it, and I started watching it, and I was like, yeah, I need to do it. At that time, I was new to coming back into stitching. I had like taken a break from it. And the only place I knew to get Ada anymore, because the one shop that I knew had supplies, I usually only bought patterns from her. So I bought my Ada at Joann's. So it's not the best feeling. Do you see that? That's masking tape. Does that tell you how far I've come in just a couple years? And then I couldn't figure out in my brain how to make the two colors work the way I wanted them to work, and that is how we ended up with full coverage. And I love it, but it's a lot. It's a lot to go still. And I know several people have in my life have asked for this one. Okay. It will be a whole day, and you know where, before I give this away. No. I will need to be 6 feet under and cold and decayed before this gets gifted to anybody other than my own children, who are under strict orders not to sell any of my cross stitch stuff or give it away when I am dead unless they consult a friend who is familiar with needlework. Because with my luck, what will happen is they'll take my Lady of the Flag pattern and donate it to Goodwill or throw it in the garbage. We all know we have those kind of kids. Um, so I did not get to work on Monopoly. I went to go work on it last week on Monday because on Monday we stitched Monopoly because it's Monopoly Monday because alliterations. Um, I don't remember why I didn't stitch on it. I need to. I would really like to have Monopoly done, the board, like I keep saying, by Christmas. The other thing that I realized is I have another wiener dog pattern that is a small wiener dog pattern. It's only a couple colors. Okay, this tells you where I'm at. Look, I put my fancy Ziploc storage bag, project bag, into a project bag I made. We don't judge. This is by Winter House. I started this. Did Zan, did you finish yours? Okay, so my modern folk embroidery is now at 35%. So my goal is by the end of the year playing Whipco that we're at 50%, which means hopefully that means in 2024 I can finish it. Stranger things have happened. We don't judge. Okay, so this is River Drift House mini long dogs. And I think Zan, I think you stitched it, which caused me to want to start it. Obviously, okay. So this is my other Wiener Wednesday pattern that needs to get done. Why? Because I started it. And I do think it's adorable. What I may do, though, just so we're all really clear, is I may only stitch this much of it. Because that's what that makes no sense to me. Because you can't even fold it in half because in half your wieners are upside down. So I think my plan is to literally cut it off here. And if I recall, here's how we're gonna we can look at this really easy. Because, you know, pattern keeper. I love I'm like not I'm 2.5% done. But that's of the total pattern, and again we're gonna cut it in half. So we're actually 52.48% done. So this is almost all the way across. So it might be a little bit big for an ornament, but I think it'll still be all right. I think it'll be all right. So my hope is, so what I may do is take this out of here and put it in my wiener dog bag so that all my wiener dog projects are together. Which I guess then technically I can put my stocking. That's not very Christmassy. I don't know. We'll find out. I did not knit. Oh, I do have haul. Okay, so I got my yarn in for my rabbit sweater that I'm gonna test knit. And it's fingering weight yarn. Okay, y'all tell me if I'm wrong, because I know you will. Okay. Okay. So and clearly I have a color preference. Okay, because we all know my dinosaur sweater is this color. So, are we seeing kind of the same family? Okay. So the sweater is done in fingering weight yarn. Do you all see how thin that is? Okay. There's the other color. They look the same thickness. If anything, this now, the white, looks a little thicker than the green, right? Am I right? I'm not crazy, am I? Okay. So this is yarn. And it is a beautiful bamboo cotton yarn in Caribbean reef. The white is a cone of DMC white that I got off of Joann's.com with a 60 or 40% off coupon and free shipping. So I'm going to knit my sweater. I did cast it on because I need to get my button gear, but like casting on is like the most boringest thing ever. And I have to cast on 128 stitches, which is a lot of stitches. But I need to get it worked on. So that will also be on my agenda. But am I wrong? Like, so if you wanted to know, it appears that DMC floss is the same as fingering weight yarn, which also means that the dress that I want to crochet calls for fingering weight yarn, and I want to do it in black. But you need like 3,000 yards to do it, right? I have a mega cone of black DMC because clearly I stitch a lot of black. Here we go. Guess who just found the yarn for her dress that she wants to crochet? So there is that. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. Hold, please. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. So if you're playing along with me with 52 card whip pickup, last week was the French horn. I didn't work on it. So we'll have to move that card and reshuffle it in. So this week, though, is the 8 of diamonds. The 8 of diamonds. Oh, now this is a project we have not seen in a long time. And that is the Peppermint Purple Blackwork cell from 2021. The year that Kelly started all those cells and finished absolutely none of them. I don't know that has seen the light of day since 2021. Maybe once or twice in 2022. It has not seen the light of day this year. And in fact, this is one of those projects that I have been considering maybe UFOing. But then I look at it, I'm like, oh, but it's so pretty. But it's never one that I'm like, oh, I should get that out and work on that. So we shall see. I think that if I don't enjoy working on it this week, in the next week or so, now that I've kind of got it on my radar, I think it's seriously time to contemplate UFOing it. So we shall see. We are getting down to the bottom of the stack, though. So that's kind of cool. And some of these, I'm looking if any of them are ones we've actually technically finished. The one is a whip go call. No. None of the rest of them are finished, and none of the rest of one is a restart because we're gonna restart. Two of them are. Wait a second. Okay. So We've worked on that one because it was a Whipco call, but we haven't done it here. The Zimmerman coverlet. The gray sweater is a restart because the dog ate the knitting needles. The periodic table, which, you know, that's the pattern that never ends. It is the pattern. Jeep Van Gogh. Jeep Van Gogh is actually on Whipco, I think, 2 or 3 more times to get called this year. Lady of the Flag. And Dreaming Girl is a restart. The Home Sal, I've never worked on. It was a Pass the Whip from Candace K. The Nesting Doll Sal, that would be good to work on. Hugs from Barbara Laverly. The Purple Pumpkin, which I need to do for my friend because she's getting married and I wanted FFO it for her wedding gift. Ooh, the Planet Sal is still in here. The Addams Family Sal. Mitch McConnell. I'm a little torn on that whip, actually. Do I think it's absolutely hysterical? Yes. Do I think that pushing to get it done right now, given Mitch McConnell's health, while I don't like Mitch McConnell, I don't wish him ill. I don't know if right now is the correct time to finish that whip. So we'll see. The Unicorn Sal that, again, we started in 2021, and I'm not finished. And then there's knitting a pair of socks, finishing the second sock because the first sock got done. And then a wolf with whip that a friend of mine passed on to me. So I don't know. Kind of debating. I'm still looking for suggestions to put on next year's Whip Go board. So if you have any preferences, or maybe what I should do is do closer towards the end of the year. Maybe I'll do a big whip parade, and from there, because the kids are kind of like, we don't know, Mom. We don't know. Which is fine. Like, they don't always know what I'm stitching or things like that. So maybe we'll do a whip parade, and from there, maybe I'll let you guys pick what goes on my Whip Go board next year. At least 2 of them you guys get to pick. Actually, 4 of them. 4 of them, if I go with the current thing right now, you guys are picking because I asked each of the kids to pick out, fill in 10 of the squares. And that only gives me 20. And the 25th square is the middle square. And I'm going to leave that as fully finished something. I know. I know. I don't want to put Rosie on next year's board because I want Rosie done ideally by Christmas or as soon as possible after that. And I don't want to put the picture of Kay and Dennis on there because I want that done as soon as possible as well. But Lord knows I still have enough other whips. And I do like the themes. Although Monday will have to change as soon as Monopoly is done. I don't know what we'll maybe we'll do like Milton Bradley Monday because I know I have a Scrabble pattern and I have recently seen a Risk pattern. Honestly, that would be really cool is to have all these different board games. I'd love to. I may have to draft my own Candyland. I have not seen one to do, but Candyland would be fantastic. So that when the boy child does move out on his own, he's my kid that really likes board games. He always has. They are not my thing. That he would have a bunch of board games that like I've made the boards for. So maybe we'll do like Milton Bradley Monday instead of Monopoly Monday. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna let you go. So you need to remember, you are beautiful. You are smart. You are wanted. You you are amazing and you matter. So if you need me, feel free to reach out to me at His Princess Kelly on Instagram, and I'll go back to you as soon as you can. It is my intention to get to the post office this week and mail out those packages and email out the pattern for tattooed Stana. That's what I call them. As far as other stitchy plans, who knows? We're gonna keep working on Whip Go goals, on Rosie, and our themes. So with that, I'll let you go, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.